Good morning, YouTube family. Good afternoon and good evening, wherever you might be. Welcome to Escape from Crazytown and welcome to our Happy Crappy Hour, where we get to talk and learn about what has been happening in our lives and how to make it better. So, oh my goodness, you guys, if you are here, it has been one crazy week, as you know. I think I have to turn on a light, so hold on a second. There you go. That kind of helps a little bit. Yeah, so uh, if you guys are here with me, you might be a little bit tired of what's going on, and you just keep hoping that the good guys win, and you know, the truth comes out, and that's what I keep pushing for you guys is the truth, and that's what we have to look for is the truth. The truth is not always out front and easy to find, as we all know. If you have been with a narcissist or been in a relationship, been raised by one, interacted with one, had business dealings with a narcissist, you are going to know that the truth is never up front. It just isn't. They are so full of lies and deceit that it just twists your world, twists your brain. You don't know what's up and down. I had a conversation with a friend this week trying to explain to her what it's like being raised by a narcissist. And I was telling her it's pretty much like what you are witnessing right now in the real world all around us, where lies are being just, we're being rained on with lies, right? I mean, we're just being pummeled with lies and drowned out by lies. And you just keep saying, that's not the truth. These people are evading the truth. They're hiding the truth. And I'm sorry, even if you're on the other side, okay? Some of you may have figured which side I'm on, but it is the side of truth. If you don't see that, I hope you do stick around. I'm not trying to insult anybody here. I just want you to think and push a little harder. When you are looking around and you see that most things are telling you not to look here, don't look here, nothing to see here. Yeah, there's corruption there, but we're not going to talk about it. And not only that, but everybody is attacking something less important, right? Because they want to distract. These are all manipulations of a narcissist, and that's what drives me crazy watching what's happening now. Because I did not escape Crazytown to go into crazy world. And so I'm going to keep praying for the truth to come out, you guys, and you should do that too. If we're the ones who are deceived, don't we also want to know the truth so that we're no longer deceived? If the other people are deceived, would they want to know the truth so that they are no longer deceived? The point here is that we never ever want to live inside of a freaking crazy narcissist world, because the narcissist will always burn you. They are not your friend. They will schmooze up to you. They will get their flying monkeys and fan club to convince you that this is the best place to be and you're safe here and you're with friends. And then they will use you and spit you out if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, you get absorbed into their world and you cannot escape. That will be, disastrous for you and anybody you care about. Well, good morning, you guys. Sorry that I started off with such negativity. We are going to talk about happies and crappies this week. What happened that was good and what happened that was bad. And we want to learn from both of those, right? Because the good things we want to keep in our lives, and the bad things we want to face the truth, see our part in it, so that we don't repeat it, right? Yeah. So good morning, Rissa Riss. Good to see you. Hello. John Bailey, good morning. Obi, good to see you. Oh, no. Oh, you got mixed up in a relationship, Obi. All right. Well, Rissa, yeah, good to see you guys all here. Well, let me think about my happies and crappies this week. I really should think about that before I get on, but yeah. Let me think. Actually, you know what? Monday and Tuesday. I don't know if this is happies or crappies, but probably a little bit of both. Monday and Tuesday, I was working the election polls here in my state. And, that the volunteers there. were from both parties, right? And then I also met a woman from the Green Party, which actually she was one of my favorite people. I really enjoyed her company. Just a positive light in the place. And I think she and I were both very happy to have found each other and kind of came together often for just positivity, you guys. Then, of course, there were the two different parties and some that were called independents, but they pretty much weren't. You can tell, of course, an independent can have their own leanings, but oh my gosh, the hardest thing I gotta say about working with people um, who have different perspectives. I mean, it's a good thing because my inclination is we need to talk, we need to converse, we need to interact. The thing that's hard though is when the other person comes at you with cynicism and negativity in the way that's critical, right? They're not there to learn anything. They're not there to really understand your side of the whatever the issue. They're just there to condemn and to refute everything you have to say. It's like, why don't we have a conversation? Why don't we see why you believe what you believe, other than just you were told this, so you're going to believe it? Okay. That's why the search for truth for me is so important to teach, because it does not come easily. People would rather just sit back and let somebody tell them what the truth is. Like, here, hey, I'll tell you to believe this. And then they don't have to do any homework. They don't have to look into anything. They don't have to question. They just follow someone that they quote unquote respect. And I want to say that because they're respecting somebody who may not be trustworthy. And as you and I know with narcissists, they are not trustworthy. They will lie to your face with a grin on their face, with no, not even a blinking, and they know they're lying. But here's the thing, there's always a bit of a tell. There just is. And not just that. And if you're lucky, there will be history, right? There will be historical evidence of their lying. So you'll have it on video, but they'll still tell you they never said that. You're like, I have it on video. You said this. Not only did you say this you said was your opinion. This was what you said you wanted to do. This is your belief, and they'll say, nope, nope, never said it. And that's the weird thing. They won't even say, oh, okay, you know what? I did change. That used to be my belief. And as I grew or matured, I changed it. They won't say that. They'll just insist they never said that. And then they never actually account for it, right? They're never held responsible for it. But people who are not even willing to look up something, to inspect, to question, those are the hardest people to talk with. Because when you try to open their eyes, when you try to show them evidence, they refuse to see anything that goes against their narrative. And these people may not be narcissists, but they are deep into the fan club of the narcissist, right? You and I both know this. We've met the new supply, or we know of the new supply. We know the fan club. We know the flying monkeys. And when we try to talk to them, it's like you're talking to a wall, because they just refuse to see reality that's playing out right in front of them. They refuse to acknowledge that the narcissist is doing anything wrong, even though they flat out know they are. It's like, well, if the narcissist is stealing, it must be for a good reason, and the other person deserved it. You're like, what the heck? How do they bury their morals to that point, right? How does somebody bury their morals to that point? And I gotta say, there's several reasons for it, but one of them is just simply laziness. One of them is simply they don't want to adjust, right? They don't want to have to change what they've believed all this time. It's just much easier to keep bulldozing through people, criticizing everybody else, blaming everybody else for why everything is wrong in their life, instead of saying, oh my gosh, I believed this lie, or I believed this narcissist all this time and they have ruined my life. And maybe not just them, but the fact that they continue to believe and defend the narcissist is what ruined their life. They won't take responsibility for that. So those are the kinds of people who the narcissist loves to have. They don't love those people, but they love to have those people around them because those are the loyal supply that are too lazy. They're just too lazy to go off and forge a life of truth and goodness. They would rather just hang on to the narcissist and follow the narcissist around for just crumbs, right? For whatever crumbs the narcissist is willing to throw to them. And then they'll keep praising the narcissist, thinking the more I praise this narcissist and the more loyal I am and the more I defend this narcissist, they're going to raise me. They're going to promote me in their echelon, right? And you're like, what the heck? No, this doesn't happen. That's not how it works with a narcissist. They may bring you close for a while, like they might invite you into their home, they might invite you into their life, but then only to kick you out when you're no longer useful to them. When something else is much more useful to them, they will kick you out and they will ignore you and actually have nothing to do with you. So, I mean, what the heck? Why do people keep doing this? I think it's because they're just simply lazy. They don't want to forge their own way. They don't want to make and build a life on truth and goodness. And I just was wondering, how in the world why would people want to choose evil over good? And someone told me it's because they started off evil, right? They started off evil maybe, and they just continue it. And they discovered that this, behaving badly is what makes them successful, right? And so they just keep doing it. They keep lying, they keep cheating, they keep stealing because it's worked for them. And I was like, yeah, but what about people who are now coming into the fold of the narcissist and they see the cheating, the lying, the stealing, the cover-ups. They're watching this happen, but then they're being told by flying monkeys in the fan club that the truth is not the truth and that the lies are the truth. And I think that's the other reason why people get caught up in this. May not be because they're lazy, but could be because they're surrounded by flying monkeys. They're surrounded by the fan club. And I have no qualm saying this. The mainstream media, total flying monkeys. They are the worst of the worst. You cannot trust the mainstream media. I don't care what side you follow. Do not follow mainstream. That's all I got to tell you. Do not follow mainstream. Start looking for the independent journalists that come up with actual evidence. Video, audio, follow that, okay? If they do not have video and audio to tell you and all they're doing is putting a face in front of a camera and that face in front of the camera is just telling you whatever, story they want to tell you, that is not evidence. That is not showing you anything. That's just a person talking, okay? Follow the evidence. Look for that. That does take a little bit more effort. And actually right now, holy cow, there is so much being suppressed. So much being suppressed on YouTube. I mean, I've had videos that I've watched already. I even queued them up or saved them. And now that I've gone back to look for them again, they are gone. They are gone. And they were being, the message I get is that the uploader has deleted or removed this video. And I know for certain, absolutely certain, that they did not remove those videos. The uploaders, the creators did not remove it. So it used to be the creator removed it, but now the message says the uploader deleted it. And so I kind of wonder, does that, uploader, what does that mean? Does that mean the person who works for YouTube, who uploaded the video, they're the ones who removed it? But because of the wording, it makes you think it's the creator, the person who created the video, who's supposed to be the one who uploads it, deleted it, but they did not. Anyway, I did talk to or commented back and forth with somebody on one of these channels that I watch sometimes, and she said that she did not remove those videos, and in fact a lot of her videos were removed. I did notice that. I went on there and I was like, what the heck happened to all of her videos? And this woman, She does a lot of exposés. She gives evidence. She has testimonies. She has um, files, you know, pictures. She uploads those onto her video so we can actually read them, see them, hear the interviews. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, they're gone. They're gone because they've been removed. It's real, real bad out there, you guys. Well, I'm so glad you guys are hopping on here. BB Scott, good to see you. Yes. Oh, thank you. That's wonderful. May the Lord shine his face upon you all. And you as well, BB Scott. Eric Craig, good to see you. Says good afternoon from Scotland. Eric here. Good to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Uh, Goodness, you guys. Yeah. Says you're in exile. Uh, Aw, that's cool. Great great grandparents immigrated to the States. Yeah, Obi was saying, I was curious about removed videos. Yep, that is what is happening. They're trying to hide the truth from us, you guys. So if all you can see are the same videos, the same criticisms, and those are not being removed, um, yeah, you got to question, well, am I actually seeing the truth then? It's really interesting that these uh, media sites like YouTube and Twitter, I'm not on Twitter. I guess I do have a handle out there, but haven't posted anything on it. Um, they are removing, even Google, they're removing videos, documents, interviews. They're removing posts of anything that goes against the lies that are swarming around us out there. And that's why I'm asking you guys to please do a little more digging. Don't just trust what you see in your face. Don't just trust when someone tells you something. Actually look at it. And I've told people, like, watch an entire interview. When someone says, oh, that person said racist remarks in an interview. Okay, well, look up the interview. Watch the interview. And you'll find out that you are being lied to. But most people will just trust whoever's commenting about it, right? Whoever's telling you about the interview. It's like, the heck with that. Actually watch the interview. And here's my question. If they're on tape and they're reporting, okay, these MSM places, supposed to be journalists, they're supposed to be reporters. They would give you a clip or something, right? And here's the deal though, you gotta be careful of that as well, because they will clip out parts. Oh my gosh, I saw another video. I did not pay attention to the accusations of a car. They were saying this one particular truck an SU ran into an SUV. And you watch the video and you're like, holy cow, that truck did run into that SUV. Because you see them swerve to the left into the SUV. And it's a black truck and a white SUV. So I'll tell you about that. It says black truck from the video clip that you get to see from the MSM. It looks like the black truck swerves to the left and nicks, right? Kind of bumps, whatever you want to say it. Definitely it's a hit. The SUV, white SUV in the left. But then the whole video comes to surface, which the MSM is oppressing and suppressing. They will not show you the 10 seconds before that happened. Well, for 10 seconds, and you count 10 seconds, it's quite long, 10 to 20 seconds actually. You see the white SUV in the black truck's lane on the right. Like the white SUV's on the left lane, the black truck is in the right lane. You see the black truck is staying in its lane, not doing anything, just staying in its lane. The white SUV, you see, starts inching, not even inching, like starts going into the lane, the black truck's lane. They are a good 2 feet over the line, minimum of 2 feet over the line, and the black truck has nowhere to go. He looks to the right, or you can see to the right of the black truck that there's another lane and a car there, so they can't go into that lane. This white SUV is pushing and pushing into the black truck, being very aggressive on the road, on a highway, and a packed highway at that, right? There are cars in front of them, there are cars behind them. This white SUV could have caused a 10-car pileup. So what happens is the white SUV nicks the black truck or does something, comes so close to the black truck that the black truck loses, is readjusting, right? He's trying to squish over to the right, trying to avoid the white SUV, but also not hit the guy in the next lane next to him. Then the white SUV goes back into their lane, and by that time, the black truck is readjusting to get back into the middle of his lane, and that's what it looks like. That's where it looks like the black truck then goes is trying to go after the white SUV. And you're like, that is total baloney. And you can see that the black truck lost control a bit there as they were trying to readjust back into their lane after being scared to death. I mean, if you can imagine someone trying to do that to you, and I've had that happen, not I don't think the person did it on purpose, but they just didn't know they were getting into my lane. Like for some reason, they just didn't see me. In this case with the black truck and the white SUV, they saw each other. You know they saw each other. They were side by side for quite a big stretch of the road, and you can see that the white SUV, the way where the truck is, it wasn't like in their blind spot. It was right next to them, and they could see each other. But I've had people who were a little bit ahead of me. I was in their blind spot, I guess, and they just didn't see me, and they come right into my lane. That is some scary stuff, you guys. And you look over and you see if you can move over, and you can't move over, and you're just like praying to God that this person will hear your horn and adjust and stop from hitting you. It's absolutely nuts, you guys. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is when you watch something on the MSM, and they have this narrative they want to portray. They want to portray that one side is evil, and it is not true. It is not true. It is a lie. But all of them, not all of them, I shouldn't say that, but a large majority of them are in on it. Because guess what? The MSM, it is owned by, I believe, six corporations. There used to be a time where most of the newspapers were owned by different people. So we could have easily major newspapers, but all owned by different people. Now we have all of them, and including news channels and cable channels, all owned by the same group of people. And we're like, what the heck? So that's why we're hearing the same narrative over and over and over. Oh, I got something else to share with you guys about this. But I want to acknowledge some of you guys coming on here. That's cool. BB Scott says, hello, Escape. Yes, thank you. Hi. Uh, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just looking up here. Juan, good to see you from Texas. Woohoo! Yay, Texas. Where is this? You guys, if you curse on the messages, sometimes, well, YouTube will hold it, and sometimes I don't see it. So just to let you know. Obi-Wan, or is this Nefertiti? Hi, everyone, she says. Good to see you. What's this say? Jeez. Yeah, you guys. Well, so our topic today is that you play with the narcissist, you're going to get burned, right? Narcissists will always burn you. And the reason for that is because they only see you as something to use. They do not love you. They do not care about you. They don't care about your welfare. They don't care that you have, I'm sorry. They just don't care. But they will speak as if they care. They'll say all the right things, as you and I know. And that's why we don't like schmoozers. We don't like people who just sit there and tell you good things about you and try to get on your good side. And you can tell they're just so annoying. Some people do that because they're insecure, and I get that. But the narcissist will do that so that they can get into your good side and gain your trust. And I'm hoping that you guys have learned all this time that you do not want to trust easily, right? People have to earn your trust. Used to be that I would just trust somebody until they showed me they were untrustworthy, right? You want to give them the benefit of the doubt. You've heard that before. Nowadays, I'm like, you know what? I don't give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm not so skeptical and hard hearted, but I don't automatically trust them. They have to earn my trust. They have to prove to me that they're trustworthy. And by their character as well, right? You watch them and you see, are they following up on what they're doing? Do they say what they're going to do? I mean, do they do what they say they're going to do? Are they responsible? And oh my gosh. So I did tell you guys I was working the polls this week and on Monday and on Tuesday. And you watch people and you learn about their character. You can assess them within the first, at least day, right? If you can spend a day working with them, you can pretty much assess them and you can still be friends with them and friendly and all that. But boy, looking around at certain people, I realized like who the hard workers were, right? Who took their tasks, what is it, seriously, right? And those who were there just to kind of schmooze and get accolades or get people to pat them on the back for being there and getting paid in some cases. Some of the people there were paid. So I remember seeing this one young person come in, and she came in and oh my gosh. All right. So she comes in and you think, oh, this high schooler, we all want to encourage her and be sweet and all that to her. And at first it sounds like, oh, she's so mature. She seems so on top of things. But actually, she came 20 minutes late, first of all, right? So you got to consider that. Okay, first of all, you came 20 minutes late. And that was just the first day. Then, of course, the second day, same thing, comes late again. And you're like, okay, this is not a very responsible or trustworthy person. But the way she spoke, and this is at 16 years old, you guys, they learn very early. But the way they speak, it makes them sound like they're so responsible. They're so good about I don't know. She said she has a job, so that's a good thing, right? A teenager that has a job, and you definitely get points for that. But then I'm like, but then you show up for your job late. So what good is that? And then I'm not sure how good a job you actually are doing. So you kind of watch that as well. She did a pretty good job, but she went up and down as far as like emotionally. She would get edgy and rude or snippy. And I'm thinking, you're working with people here. You might not want to do that, right? So you can't, not that she's a narcissist, but narcissists will talk themselves up really well, right? They'll present all their resume essentially to you about of all the good things they've done. And so you start to trust them because you're believing their resume, right? You're believing what they say to you. Just like we believe the MSM when that's all they're doing. They're just talking to you. They're telling you all these things and it sounds good, but that's where you want to check. That's where you want to go back and call the references or just watch them in action, right? Watch how they behave with other people, with customers, or do they even show up on time? And do they even apologize if they do show up late? And by the way, she did not. She just showed up late. And then picked up as if she'd been there. And not only that, on her timesheet, she wrote that she was there on time. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. This is what we're dealing with from a very early age. People act like they're entitled to lie, to cheat, to steal, but it's no big deal for them. For some reason, they just don't see it as a big deal when they do it. But then when they see somebody else doing it, holy cow, they need to call it out. They need to get the supervisor over there. They need to rat out this person. And that's why I say when you are with a narcissist, you will get burned because they work on a double standard. They do not have to come in early or on time, but you do. They can lie on the timesheet, but you cannot. If they see you step out of line in any way or to them, they think is out of line, right? Then they want to report you. And I dealt with another person like that as well while I was working. So this person was saying how we're not, what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about riots, right? A little bit. And I'm not saying, we weren't talking about who was on what side of what riot, but how that's just terrible and we have to be careful because there are some crazy people out there that are willing to be abusive, violent, and burn things down and attack you if they think you're on the other side. I said, we have to be careful of that because people out here are getting revved up by the mainstream media. And and it was just she and I talking. There were no voters in the place at the time. They hadn't come in yet, or if they did, they were long gone because it was really quiet at our polls. So we were talking about that, and then we stopped because then voters started coming in, and we weren't talking about it anymore. So she says to me, we're not supposed to be talking about stuff like that. And I was like, well, yeah, but we didn't talk about this party or that party. We were saying like these rioters. The word on the street was that they don't care who was going to win. They were going to riot. So they were not like on one side or the other. They were just going to riot. So I said, yeah, but we weren't talking about one side or the other. And plus, there were no voters around. It was just she and I, and we were just talking. Then later on, I see her talking to the teenager about one particular party and putting down that party right in front. They were about 3 feet from a voter who was at a voting booth, and then 5 feet from the other voter that was 2 feet from that voter. So I'm just like, okay, I can hear them when I'm standing 10 feet from them. I know these voters can hear them when they're right at the booth putting in their ballots or marking their ballots. So I say to that woman, you shouldn't be talking about those things either. And then quickly, she's like, oh, well, we didn't say which party we're talking about. I'm like, yeah, but you mentioned conservative or liberal. So we kind of can tell which party you're talking about by saying one of those two terms, okay? We can tell which party you're talking about. So, yeah, it's just, yeah. Anyway, you guys, double standards. That's how they are. And they will be the little Nazis that tell you, oh, you can't say this, you can't do that. But then they can do it, they can say it, and they don't see any problem with it. That is, uh, you know, it doesn't even take a narcissist to do that. Sadly, it just takes that's a person's character. That's what it shows me. What kind of character is this person? What kind of character does this person have if they walk around with these double standards so obvious, by the way? And it's becoming even more and more obvious, by the way. Here's the deal, actually. This is a good thing. The good news is they are getting much more easy to spot, right? There is much more easy to discern who the crazies are by how they speak. They're just very negative and mean, and they use double standards, and they refuse to listen. They just refuse to see any evidence of anything. Now, the other side, I'll have to say, they're afraid. They might be a little negative because they're afraid of what's going on, and they're upset about the lies they're seeing, but they're willing to listen. They're like, okay, are you tell me something different. Tell me, but give me evidence. That's what they want. It's like just show me evidence. And I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you or what I should tell you more about the polling places, but my main thing is that there were some really pleasant people there. There were some really good people there. And then there were some very grouchy people there. And it seemed to me like just one side was the grouchy side, and the other side was the more kind and pleasant and warm side. And it's not the side that the mainstream media is telling you is warm and good and pleasant, because the mainstream media is making that side seem like they're horrible and they're racist and they're just horrid people. Nothing further from the truth, you guys. Nothing further than that from the truth. So, you guys, let me see how you guys are doing here. Wow. Good to see you guys coming on. Cluster B, good to see you. And Dangerous Conversations. Everybody hit the like button. Oh, thank you. Yes. Help others escape from Crazy Town. Yes, thank you for saying that. Yeah, if you would hit the like button, if you would comment after the video, it has been uploaded. That really helps to boost my videos up further, and I would appreciate that. I always forget to mention that. And if you can watch a video or a commercial once in a while that runs on my channel, that helps me as well. I appreciate that. That helps me, and also it helps YouTube to put maybe better commercials on my channel. That would be good. Yeah, I really appreciate all you guys hopping on here. So, the sad thing for most people when they're dealing with a narcissist, and the people that I see who are deluded right now, who are believing the lies, they believe that the narcissist leaders, I'm sorry to say, but there are some that are running that are pure, I'm sorry, they're just pure evil. And they they make you think that they care about you, but then you watch them, and there's some things that I'm sure some people are like, there's just something wrong. If they care about us, why are they withholding? Why are they not in touch? Why do they not even live? Those who and this I did not understand. Like someone who runs as a representative or whatever, congressperson for their district, they're supposed to live in their district. But some of these people do not. They moved out of their district, and they have nothing to do with their district other than taking their money. And yet they're trying to convince the people who live there in abject poverty that they care. So that does bother me. This is why I say the narcissist will burn you. And those people keep voting them in over and over and over again. Just because once in a while that congressperson will come out of their luxury mansion and walk not even down the street, by the way. They will set up a podium. They'll have a little not one on one, what do they call it, press conference or whatever in the town, or maybe they'll go to a town hall meeting. But they're completely escorted and surrounded by guards. They don't have to deal with what they're subjecting their constituents to, and they'll talk face to face with their constituents and tell them to hate the other side, and spout all kinds of nasty, horrible, violent stuff. And I'm like, what the heck? And then they get voted back in. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. The narcissist will burn them, and actually has burned them. Their cities are burning down, right? Not all the way to the ground, obviously, but there are blocks in their cities that are just destroyed. And I'm looking at that going, why then do you keep voting back your congressperson when your town is getting destroyed and they're not wanting to help? They're not asking the police. They're not even allowing the police, by the way, to stop it. That's the crazy thing to me. And then so much has been going on in the last month that I just am so sickened by it. The fact that, I'm going on a retreat soon, and I got this message saying that the church or facility, I guess it is a church, it's a Bible college, and they are being attacked by our governor. Religious institutions are getting attacked left and right. They are being completely peaceful. They are being mostly compliant, right? But the rule and the law is that you cannot make people comply. It's up to that person to comply. So here's the deal. It's okay for mega stores to not make people comply, but it's not okay for churches not to make people comply. That is total BS, by the way, you guys. So here we are. We're dealing with double standards. Welcome to the narcissist crazy world. That's what we're living in. We're living with double standards where they want to oppress one side and they want to continually spout and tell you how wonderful their side is. And you can sit here and see immediately that it's a double standard. You can tell. All you have to do is take a look. It just is very upsetting to me, but you know what? I have God. So that helps. I'm telling you, I don't know how people are getting through this without God, because you just want to give up. I've talked to many of you guys, many viewers who've talked about, I just want to see justice. I want to see justice. And the sad thing for many of us is we may not see justice from our narcissist, because the best thing for us is to cut them out of our life. And we don't want to be interacting with them to the point where we know what is going on with them intimately, right? We don't want to intimately know what's going on in their daily life, because that's just going to drag us back into their life and into the horrible life that they have. But because we're disconnected from them, because we go no contact, we may not see justice. And that's where, when relying on God, gives me hope, because I know that in the end, God wins. So there you are, you guys. You have hope for that, because in the end, no matter what happens, God wins. And also, truth prevails. Truth always will prevail. Maybe not in our lifetime, maybe not in our situation, but at some point it will. And if it doesn't, and we cannot do anything about it, then what good is it then to worry ourselves to death? What good is it to bury ourselves in anger? We have to release that. We have to find what else is good, what things are worth going for, and we have to focus on that. If it's our career and building that, if it's friendships and building that, what if you can start working on your projects in your spheres of influence, right? Start improving your life. And that's where your focus needs to be. Narcissists, though, will try to take and take and take and take. So that's why I'm so they're shutting down channels left and right. And you have to dig a little harder, a little harder. See if you can find some channels that will actually give you evidence, talk about what's going on out there, have journalists on the site. And that's what has really confused me in the last 20 years of media, by the way, is that, and it might have been more than 20 years, because depending on how far back, I kind of did notice, like, journalists used to be at the site. Like, TV stations would send journalists to go to a site and interview people and actually talk to them. Now it seems like they don't do that. They just sit in their high castle, if you will. They'll sit in their studio and they report from there. And they might have a camera person go out to a site, but they don't talk to anybody. They don't interview anybody. And they certainly don't interview those who are being affected, right, by what's going on. So be very careful of that, what you listen to and how much you listen to it. Well, you guys, do you have any happies and crappies? I'm trying to think of what some of my happies and crappies were with working at the election polls. And I gotta say, a crappy was having to work with people who are very deluded. Some people, obviously, not all of them. Some people who are completely, all they get is the mainstream media. And so they trust it entirely. And that was very sad, because it was sort of like watching, a narcissist fan club. It was like watching that. And you cannot say anything to wake them up. You just can't. They refuse. So what do? Should you be angry? Should you be hateful? No, absolutely not. Just be kind, be respectful, encourage them to not do the double standard thing, which is what I did. Meaning that I encouraged them not to do the double standard. I called them on it when I saw it happening, in a nice way, of course. And they were like, oh, okay, and they made their excuses, but then they complied, which is good. So that was my crappy, was having to see that. And it is sad, because you want to wake people up. You want to tell them, look, what you're believing there is not true, but, it's up to them to choose. Just like the news supply, when you are witness to the narcissist relationships, and you see the news supply fawning all over them. I had a viewer recently message and say that let me think of, oh yeah, it's a guy. And he said that how the woman, oh, it was terrible. She, he broke up with her. And when he broke up with her, her comments were how many expensive things did he not buy for her, right? Because she was into the designer stuff, and she was complaining that he never bought her all these designer things that she wanted when they broke up. Then she comes back into his life, right? And this second time around, he decides, well, I'm going to shower her with gifts. I'm going to get her the things that she wants. So he does. But then she breaks up with him again because she finds herself someone richer. Right? She finds somebody who has even more money, who's wealthy, and now she's posting all over Facebook that, her life is wonderful, how she loves her life, and this guy is, of course, showering her with all kinds of gifts and stuff, and she gets to live this rich lifestyle now with this guy. But it's so sickening to watch because you're like, what the heck, First of all, she might be the narcissist. She probably is. But he might also be a narcissist, the new guy. So it's kind of funny actually because this is not going to last. After a while, he'll give her stuff and then get favors, if you know what I mean, from her. And then when he's done, he's just going to dump her. And guess who she's going to come back to? She's going to come back to the viewer who wrote to me and is telling me about what's going on here. And if you're that viewer and you happen to be on, I want to tell you, do not take her back. Do not. Remember what she has done. Know that all that matters to her is what you can do for her, what you can give her. She is not a person of character or depth. So stay far, far from that. And know that it's a complete nightmare between her and this other person. Because what narcissists have is a business contract. That's pretty much it. The relationship they have is a business contract because honestly, what is she doing for him? Think about that. What is she doing for him for all the things that he's buying or paying her for? This is a business contract and you need to stay away from that. You don't want to know what's going on there because you do not want to stay in contact with her. If you stay in contact with her, she will be monkey branching back to you when she gets dumped by this guy. And she's going to suddenly act like, oh, I've always loved you and I'm so sorry that I left you. And it's like, and the only reason she's back is because otherwise she would probably be homeless, right? So do not do that. Don't put yourself through that again. Watch people's character. Watch how they behave with others. And definitely watch and keep track of what they have done to you. And I'm not saying like keep track of all the wrongs they've ever done, everybody in your life has ever done to you. But with a narcissist, you have to because they will weasel their way back into your life if you should forget and give them even an inch, right? Back into your life. They will take over. So be very careful of that. Well, you guys, I'm so glad that you're here. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, Eric Craig says cluster B. He or she who laughs last laughs the longest. Keep laughing. Yep. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so crazy. Oh no. Yeah, Obi says my neighbor chick is hilarious. Been watching her triangulate two men and Crazytown has hit hard. And I laugh because these narcissized wait me at because she had done the same thing to you at one time. I'm not quite sure, Obi, if that's what you meant. But yeah, you want to stay away from crazy people like that. I know I've known crazy people like that. I am staying away from crazy people like that. I still know some who are. I don't let them get close anymore. I'll tell you that right now. I just don't because I don't need it. I don't need their drama. I don't need their crazy town. I don't need their ups and downs. I love to be kind to people and help them when they're down. That is not a problem. But when they want to drag you into their crazy town and start blaming you for why they're miserable, oh, heck no. And they will do that. I'm telling you. That's why narcissists will always burn you. when you think, oh, I'm just helping them because they're having a rough time right now. So you help them, you befriend them, you're there for them, you're encouraging them. You want to bring joy into their life. And before long, you will start to see them turn their anger and frustrations from their past, with people from their past, to people in their present, which means you. So if you happen to be there and they go into one of their slumps again, you will get blamed for it. And that has happened to me. And I'm like, the heck with this. I'm done. No, because I did not cause any of your slump. I'm here to try to help. But now you're suddenly turning it on me as if I, here's the thing with narcissists: whatever they do and whatever they think, they project it onto you. So if they are insecure, all right, if they have lied to you, if they need attention, if they need you to pat them on the back, they will turn it on to you and say that you were, how did this go? They'll say that you are not very encouraging. You are the one that got issues and therefore is hurting them on purpose. And you're like, what? What the heck? What are my issues? I'm trying to be nice to you. Because they take something wrong by the way you just simply are, right? Your life offends them, and they're going to tell you how offensive you are to them. You're like, what the heck? I'm the same person I've been since the time you met me. But suddenly now you're offending them because they're going to then assume, like, they just project all of their character flaws onto you. And then they're going to assume that you somehow are manipulating them when all the while they were manipulating you. That's why narcissists are so, not just nefarious, but you just cannot trust them because they are not trustworthy people. They see the world in such a crazy, psychotic way that they cannot understand that someone can be nice. They can't understand that someone could actually just be good-hearted because they're not good-hearted. So when they see you helping them, they're going to project onto you that you must be manipulating them or using them in some way, that you're not really just helping them because you're a good person. Because why? They're not a good person. And the only reason they would help you is if they're trying to manipulate you or use you in some way. That's why they don't trust people, because they are not trustworthy. They know they're not trustworthy. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have a hard time going back into that crazy town because I have to like put myself back into that situation in my mind, how it felt, what it was like dealing with the narcissists in my life, and it was total crazy town. Well, you guys, how are you guys doing here? I just want to see. Keating Simmons, good to see you. Yeah. Calls him a Jezebel. Yeah, it's a Jezebel spirit. I've heard of that. Yeah. Cluster B, good to see you. Cluster B free. I'm sorry, I should not have called you Cluster B. Cluster B free. Yes. Says, yes, tribe, keep a journal, starting from the first hurtful thing. This will keep you strong and narc free. Binge this channel to freedom. Aw, thank you. Yeah, it's true. You guys, that's why we have to be so careful. It's okay, but don't be afraid. I'll tell you what, you can still go out there, make friends. And by the way, and if you were here with me from the beginning of this live stream, I had told you that I met somebody from the Green Party at the election polls where I was working. And she and I just gravitated to each other because we're positive energy people, we're happy people. And it was good. And we didn't have to have the same religion. She's not religious. I don't want to say religious, but I do believe in Christ. And we we don't have to have exactly the same beliefs in everything to get along. We don't have to um, condemn one another for not believing exactly what the other one believes. We actually connected on a human level where we care. We just simply care. And we want to bring peace, and we want to communicate with others, and we want to be a positive thing in somebody else's life, right? Wherever we go, we want to be a positive, bring a positive energy and be a positive effect on someone's life. She was telling me, and I could see too, afterwards, she was telling me how my positive energy was such a good thing for her. So, you guys, just always be that. Be a positive energy for other people. And you can do that. The thing is, you don't have to gravitate to negative people. You don't have to take on negative people, who are not doing. How do you put this? I know we're empathic. A lot of people who show up here are people who are empathic, and that's how we got caught up with the narcissist and allowed them so deep into our life. But because we're so excuse me, because we're so empathic, we sometimes don't have healthy boundaries. And we assume that if somebody needs our help, that we're supposed to just open up our life and let them in and take whatever they need. And that's not the case. Don't do that. That's the part where I'm trying to help you guys to see it is not your responsibility to allow people to come in, lie, cheat, steal, and rob you, right? Take from you. But if you want to help them, you can have a healthy boundary, and you can have a limit to what you're willing to give. Like God says he loves a cheerful giver. And I look at that scripture and I think, I love to give. And when it gets to the point where I'm not loving the giving, then I don't have to keep giving, right? I don't have to keep giving to this person when it gets to that point where the giving is now becoming a frustration and an annoyance and a pain, not just a financial pain, but just an emotional, terrible, attacking kind of pain. We don't have to take that. When someone turns on you and starts attacking you after you've been helping them, oh, heck no. It's just like, shut that down. You don't have to keep staying until one day they appreciate you again. That's not what happens with narcissists. They might one day come back and say that they appreciate you, but then they'll attack you again. And as often as you are willing to allow them back into your life, they will continue to attack you. So you do not have to do that. That's what I'm hoping you guys realize. It's okay. It's good to be a kind, loving, empathic person. But it is not good to become an enabler to a narcissist, right? So there's a difference there. You can help somebody, but when they start acting badly towards you, you need to call them on it. There needs to be consequences. There need to be consequences to their behavior. And the reason they get away with that bad behavior for so long is because nobody gives them any consequences. Their friends or flying monkeys or fan club stay around to allow them to continually treat them badly. So they don't see what the problem is. Like, why should I not treat you badly because all these other people allow me to treat them badly and they're okay with it? Oh, heck no. You guys, heck no. That's where I have no guilt about that. And you have to understand that everybody is responsible for themselves. Everybody is responsible for themselves. Narcissists especially, because narcissists do not want to take responsibility. They want everybody else to be responsible for their happiness. Everybody else is responsible to help them. Everybody else is a bad person if they don't care about the narcissist. That's the way they see it, right? And who the heck cares? If that's what they choose, if that's the way they choose to live, that's on them, right? You can introduce them to truth. You can introduce them to a better way of living. But if they continually choose to live in a destructive way and in an abusive way towards others, there is going to be consequence, right? There's going to be a consequence to that. And the consequence is people fall away from them. People will drop out of their life because people don't need that. We just don't. We don't need that. Well, you guys, we are at our hour, but I want to give you guys a few minutes to finish up some of your conversations. Let me see. Yeah. Yep. Keating, Simons, I agree. Whoa. Oh, yeah. I think that's true too. Oh, I'll have to look up Revelation 2:20. Ah, I am. Oh, you know what? I am not seeing all of my comments because I just did not have the right setting on. But I'm glad you guys are here. Sorry if I did not give you a shout out and say hi. It could be because it just hit. Sometimes YouTube does not show me all of the comments. You guys. Aw. High road and low road. Yes. The narcissist always chooses the low road. Yes, they do. Oh, okay. So Keating Simon says in psychology, no contact is the limit. Okay. Oh, yeah. Dangerous Conversation says, I share this channel with friends in the same situation. This channel helps them heal. Aw, thank you. Yeah, I've had friends too sharing my channel because they're like, this is great. Like, oh, that's so nice. I do want to stay positive. I want to give you hope. Yes, we're all here dealing with the same crazy psychoses that are out there. So please, you guys, keep your chin up. Know that there are good things still ahead for us. I don't want you to get down in the dumps because of the elections. Know that nothing is forever, okay? Everything is temporary. So even the bad things, the bad times in your life, it's temporary. That's the good news, right? About things being temporary. The bad things in your life are temporary. They are not there to stay forever. So, oh, okay. I was going to say, so remember that even if you're going through a hard time right now and you're going through a dark moment right now, it will pass. It will pass. Just stay strong. Keep moving one foot in front of the other. Keep going. Keep moving. And you're going to be just fine. And stay close. Stay close to those who are life giving and speak life giving words, right? We have power in the words we choose to speak in our life. So speak words that give you life and others around you life. And that's why I said when I was working at the polling place, it was, some of it was crappy, but some of it was happy because I continually had to choose to speak words of life. So that's what I chose. I'm going to speak words of life. I'm going to be positive. And when there is negativity, I either shut that down or I just ignore it. Like, I'm not going to give it any power. So we all get to choose that for our life, but also the people around us. The people around us who are choosing words of death and words of anger and hatred, we don't have to continue it. We don't have to spread it. We can actually stop it right here with us. So do that. Oh, Dangerous Conversation says Revelation 2:20 is about Jezebel, the false prophets. Oh, yep, yep. Sheep versus goats, says Keating. Narc free is the best. Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you guys, our hour is up, and I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Share this channel. Share some of my other videos. If the shorter ones are more helpful to some of your friends, share those. And encourage them to come here on Happy Crappy Hour so that we can continue the conversation and help one another. Share our experiences. It makes such a big difference when we share our experiences because we know we're not alone and we're not going through this by ourselves. If you're feeling down, you're not alone. There are times I feel down as well. But remember, this is temporary. There are good things ahead, and in the end, God wins. Good always wins over evil. It does. It may not in the battle, but it will in the war. So you guys, keep positive. Stay positive. Know that good things are still ahead. Even if bad things are coming, even that is temporary. Even that is temporary. And there will still be good things in the midst of that. So you guys, blessings to you. Watch a commercial once in a while and help me earn a little bit so I can keep this channel going and hopefully keep this channel growing. I will talk to you guys next week. Have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed week. I will be keeping you guys in my prayers, and let's see what the next week brings us. Maybe we'll be celebrating. Oh my gosh, so many good and bad things are about to happen, I think, but I'm excited because I think the truth is coming out. And that, my friends, is exciting because the truth is going to win. Blessings to you guys, and I will see you next week.